And I'm really happy to be here for a number of reasons. One of them is that this is really important. Like networking and dealing with disability issues is vitally important. I'm also really quite comfortable being here with you guys because I've been doing this work for the past 16 years, and I'm also really comfortable because I've done it. Like this, if some of you are St. Mary's students, I'm really happy to help you, and the things I would tend to ask to coach you to do, I've done myself. So I get it. And when Andrew asked me to do this, first he asked me to do a presentation, and then he seemed to change his mind. He said, no, you just sit on a panel. And I thought, okay, that would mean just answering some questions. So I didn't formally prepare a presentation as such. But I really want to say a bunch of things to you guys. Chris was talking about networking and the importance of building your network and using your friends and family as a starting point, which makes a lot of sense. The gist of it all is that most jobs are never advertised, and I might get myself in a little trouble here, but like some employers will admit that to you, but some won't. Like even government jobs, a lot of them are not advertised. Am I getting myself in trouble? Like they can hire term, casual, what's the other, intern type jobs that don't have to be posted. But when I talk to them, they say, all of our jobs are posted. But they're not. So meeting people is of immense importance. Because at least 80% of jobs are not advertised. That's it. Even the advertised jobs we're seeing a lot. But if 80% are not advertised, there's a huge number of jobs out there. And anyway, some of the key things with networking. Are any of you guys St. Mary's students? Hopefully some. No? That counts in my book. Anyway, so like with me, like networking is about, like we used to think, we'd say it's who you know that helps you get a job, and that's probably is true. I think it's what Chris was getting at. And we used to, the conception is that, it means your neighbor or your cousin, people that you're clearly linked with that can help you in this matter. But it can mean the people that you got to know. Like, if you're really motivated to work in a particular sector or with a particular company or employer, and you don't know anything about that employer, you don't have any links, first a couple of phone calls can make a lot of progress for you. And if you're polite on the phone and you like talking to people, I bet most of you do. Yes? Right? So if you like meeting people, and a key thing is to be organized. If you're organized, you feel good, right? You're being proactive, and I've done both. I want to spend a second on that because I've done both. Like I've had a really disorganized and chaotic kind of job search, and it really sucks. I mean, it's hard and it doesn't work. I've also been really organized, kept notes of everything and followed up with people and was very proactive, and it almost can be fun. Like, again, if you like meeting people and getting out and around, it almost is fun. And now, so we were saying about branching out from the people that your friends and family. So let's say, there's some really cool companies in Halifax. Now some new ones and such. One of them is called LED roadway lighting, which I think is really exciting. They're doing well. They were winning awards for this product they developed here. It's a street light that it's an LED, and they haven't paid me for promoting them. But so let's say you really think this is a really cool looking company, but you don't know anyone there. But a couple of phone calls can get you the name of the person that you want to meet. So ideally you want to get to meet the person who has the power to hire you. So Chris was talking about being clear about what you want to say to employers and before you make these links. So like when your first phone call is really the easiest, Good morning, can I have the Human Resources office, please? They'll link you through. And then the next call is easy too. So basically all you want to know, like, good morning, can you tell me who's responsible for hiring and recruiting? They'll tell you, especially if you're polite, they're glad to help. And so see, you're taking notes and get used to asking questions like, can you tell me Ms. Auerbach what the correct spelling of her name? Can you tell me her job title? What's the exact address? Do you have an email for her? And does she have a direct phone line? That's ideal. So your next call, you want to call Ms. Auerbach. I just made that up. Yeah, and now at this point you really want to give a lot of thought to how are you going to introduce yourself? Because I think you got about 30 seconds, what can we say? To put all your best stuff in a couple of sentences. So it might be, good morning, Ms. Auerbach. My name is, I'm going to choose one of you. My name is Jennifer Smith. I'm a senior level marketing student at St. Mary's University. I have a strong background in customer service and also in sales. My computer skills are strong and I speak 3 languages. And I'm calling today out of interest in LED roadway light. I was wondering if I could meet with you sometime. That was not bad, right? No. So I got a bunch of core skills in a short period of time. And so basically you want to get her attention. And so the idea is if you can get in front of the person who has the power to hire you. I want to mention, I know people that are brilliant at this. Some of you probably are. I've had some students that can get a job in a day because they're really comfortable with themselves, and some have quite severe disabilities. But they're really good at this. And then I know other people they're geniuses, they're unbelievably skilled and smart, and it's taken them a long time. But they get jobs. And if you work at this, you'll get a job over time. And so the good news for most of us fall in between that range, right? Of being can get a job in a day and being a genius who can't get a job in a couple of years. So most of us fall somewhere in the middle. If you work at this stuff, you'll get better at it. So the students that I work with, usually I have a number of contacts that I know and I really trust them, employers, and I like working with them. And I know that if I refer you, say you guys, to them for your first, let's say, informational interview to learn about RBC or LED roadway lighting, I know that they're going to make it smooth for you. Do you know what I mean? Some people are easier to meet than others. And so, for you guys, it's an easier way to start. A little harder than friends and family. Really? Anyway, so like, if you're organized and you're proactive as you do this, like even if you're just doing this per se, you make a statement about yourself. If you call someone up and you take the time to go and shake their hand and sit in their office and learn about their company, you've made a statement. It says you care a lot. You're not going to sit around at home and wait. You're motivated. So that's the minimum you'll accomplish. And since most jobs are not advertised, it's a good way to go. And some of the little details are like, when you get to meet people, like in these situations, you should send a quick little thank you note the next day like you do for job interviews. And such, it's just a courtesy, and it makes, when you do it, you get a feel for what you accomplish. Just like mine are really short. Dear Ms. Jones, I'm writing a thank you for taking the time to meet with me on December the 5th to talk about LED roadway lightings, projects and activities. Period. I found our meeting very, very informative and very helpful. Also interesting, whatever. Once again, thanks for your time and interest. Something like that, shortish. It's just a courtesy. Like if you do all the things you should do as job seekers, like in your networking efforts, like if you follow up with people like you should, if you keep notes, and if you do send these thank you notes, you feel better and it works better. Anyway, I wish all of you luck. And so, all of the stuff, the interview skills and the networking skills, if you work at it, you'll get better. And the hardest job to get is your first job, right? And after that, it's much easier. And it's said to be easier to get a job when you're already working. One more thing I want to say. I'm really glad Simon is here because I met with Simon and his colleague, one of his colleagues last year, and one of the things I said, what's most important to you? What do you look for in your new recruits? And very quickly and naturally Simon said, attitude. Attitude gets people jobs. And Chris was talking about first 3 seconds impressions. And so just doing this alone, you make a statement about yourself. And attitude, I bet there's a lot of great attitude in this room. And there's a lot of intelligence and a lot of major skill. And everything you've ever done, volunteer-wise, work-wise, involves a lot of stuff. If you can learn to put it, to articulate it in paper or in words, your chances of getting jobs and making impressions are really much better. I wish I could meet with all of you guys. I really do sometimes. But anyway, good luck in everything you do. And persist, you'll get where you want.